everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Tonight I'm going to be making a lemon brie chicken. So let me show you what the ingredients are going to be and we can get to cooking. Alright, so here are my ingredients. I am going to use some thin sliced, boneless, skinless chicken breast. So this is what I have here. And I've got some chicken broth and I've got about a half a cup of chicken broth. I got the one with the low sodium. I also have some thyme here. This is dried thyme. If you can get yourself some fresh sprigs, that'll be best. In this little bowl, I have salt, pepper, I have some onion powder and some oregano. And I've got a half a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of salt of the onion powder and about 2 teaspoons of the oregano. You can mix whatever you want here to taste for your chicken. Here I've got about 3 little green onions. They're all chopped up. I've got 2 garlic cloves chopped up. I have 1 lemon that has been thin sliced right here, and I have an extra one that I'm going to zest a bit from and then squeeze out the juice. I have some chopped parsley, butter, and very important is to have some Brie. This is a Brie wheel. It's a double cream Brie. I'm going to be using that in my recipe. And that is it for now. Let's go ahead and start preparing this so we can have a delicious dinner. All right, before I start preparing my chicken, I wanted to mention that I am going to be making a side, so I thought I'd share this with you. I have some zucchini. These are 2 zucchinis that I've cut in half, and then I went and I cut some little slits long ways like this, or you can cut it up. You could chop this up and put it in on your baking pan if you wish, but I'm going to make these little boats. I had some leftover ricotta from another recipe, so I'm going ahead and putting this on top. I've seasoned it with pepper, some salt, and I'm going to put some garlic powder once I have these ready to go in the oven. My oven is now preheating to 350, by the way. I'm going to be needing that for my chicken as well. I'm also going to be using some olive oil, which I've also drizzled on here, but I'm going to use olive oil to cook my chicken, and I didn't mention that ingredient. So just get yourself some extra virgin olive oil. Okay, I'm going to get this out of the way. And now I'm going to grate some aged Parmesan here. Some Parmesan cheese. It's all yummy. And here we go. Just going to grate some on top of this. Give it a nice extra flavor. And I really do like this dry type of aged Parmesan on zucchini. I think it adds such a good flavor to this. Okay, I am trying the ricotta on here for the first time. Okay, once I have plenty of it, don't want to waste any, so all the little bits that fall to the side, I'm just throwing them back on it. Okay, I think that's good enough before I start grating the plastic. There we go. I can't stop, you guys. There we go. All right, so I got some garlic powder that I'm also going to sprinkle all over. And this is going to be going into my oven. I'm just going to make sure that the zucchini is all nice and cooked. So once that is done, I'll let you know how long that took. All right, so now I'm going to season my chicken, and I've taken this salt, pepper, onion powder, and let's see, what else did I put in here? I put oregano, yeah. So I'm going to season my chicken with this, just like that. And I'm also going to grate a little bit of this lemon. Okay, like so. And I'm going to turn them over and season the other side. Putting lots and lots of seasoning on it. I'll save some for later. And I'm going to put some of this lemon zest on there as well. All right, I've added all the zest that I want on here. I'm going to go ahead and take this over to the stove. So we're going to go over there. And I've got myself a black iron skillet. You can use whatever skillet you can. Just make sure it is oven safe, because once we've cooked this, we're going to leave it in the pan and put it in the oven. Okay, so I've got my skillet here on the stove and I've got it on high. I'm going to add some olive oil to that. I had already rubbed it with some oil. But now I want to make sure that I get some oil so that I can do some cooking. Let's test this out and see if it's hot enough. Almost. I'm going to let it get hot a little bit more. Once it starts sizzling, I know that it is perfect. Okay, the chicken is now sizzling in there, so I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of these pieces, and I'm putting them with a heavier seasoned side down. If you don't have an iron skillet or you don't have a pan that can go into the oven, you can cook everything on top of here. And the last preparations, you can do it in a little baking dish and then put it in the oven. Oh. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get all my little pieces in there. I'm going to cook them about 4 minutes on each side. These little thin pieces probably won't take that long. I'm going to get a clean plate. So once they're cooked, I can pull them out and put them on the plate. So about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. Just make sure they're nicely cooked. These are very thin sliced, everyone. So if you happen to have a thicker chicken breast that you're using in here, you probably want to cook it like about 6 minutes on each side. You just want to make sure your chicken is well cooked. And we'll be back. All right, everyone, I've had my chicken in here about 3 minutes. I'm going to turn some of these pieces over. Look how pretty they're getting. Okay, everyone, so I have a baguette, and I've cut about a half of it. And then I cut them into little slices like this. I'm going to go ahead and butter each little slice like that with some nice softened butter. And then I'm going to sprinkle some garlic powder on them and the same Parmesan, the same Parmesan cheese that I used on the zucchini. I'm going to also grate over this. So that's what I'm going to be putting on these little breads, and they're going to get baked for just a couple of minutes, and we're going to have some nice toasted garlic cheesy bread. All right, you guys, I have lowered the heat on my skillet here, and I'm removing the chicken, so this is now going to cool off just a little bit. I'm going to add some butter to my pan now. With a little bit, that's about a tablespoon, by the way. A little bit of olive oil in there. Stir that up. And I'm going to throw in the onions. These green onions are right in there. And my garlic. You can use some shallots instead if you prefer those, instead of the little green onions. Some fresh garlic. And I'm going to sprinkle some of these seasonings that I had that I use on my chicken in there. Okay, so now I also want to add the juice that I had from the lemon. Okay, so I squeezed the lemon and got all the juice that I put out of it. Made sure I didn't have any seeds in there, and I'm going to add my half a cup of chicken broth into this. And I'm just going to make sure that picks up all the little bits of chicken that were on my skillet. Okay, so I'm adding my chicken back in there, and I've gone ahead and I've turned it off. Okay. We're going to be right back. We're going to put our lemon slices and our brie on top of that. All right, so now we want to take our brie. There is something that I forgot to mention when I was adding the onions and the garlic. into the butter and broth, the chicken broth, is that if you do have fresh thyme, go ahead and throw your sprigs in there. So that is also when I would have thrown in my thyme, and I hadn't done that. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle that up, some of this in there now, and just mix it around. Here is my Brie. And Brie has this little coating on the outside. It looks like a little paper, but it's actually edible. So we just wanna go ahead and just make some thin slices of that, like so forth. And this will be ready to place on top of my chicken. Just cut enough of what you think you're gonna wanna use. I'm probably gonna do about maybe half or a little bit more depending on what fits on top of my chicken. So I'll be back with our chicken. Okay, so here I've got my cooked chicken and all the nice juices on it. So now I want to go ahead and put some of this Brie on top. I'm gonna put it on top of the chicken pieces here. Let me slice one more. For this other piece, I can actually cut a little bit because I'm gonna taste that. So good. I'm gonna add this little piece right here in the middle. There we go. And then we're gonna put our lemon slices on top. Just put them all the way around, just like that. We're gonna save our parsley for last. This is going to go into the oven. I've got my lower oven now at 375. It's about ready. So then I put this in there, and all I want is to leave it in there long enough for my Brie to melt. Oh my God, it tastes so delicious. I'm still tasting it. And I still have this much left. Sorry, I have still this much left of my Brie, which was a half. And this was a 8-ounce package, so I used 4 ounces. And this is about 2 large chicken breasts, but of course they were thinly sliced. Just keep that in mind. So if you're gonna make 4 breasts and you're probably gonna use the whole wheel of it, you're gonna make a lot more, then of course get more of this. All right, everyone, our yummy lemon and Brie chicken is out of the oven. This cheese is nice and melty. Look at that. Yummy. So now we're going to sprinkle it with some of this fresh parsley and make it look really pretty and give it another little flavor to it. There we go. Now we're going to serve it with our zucchini and our little toast, and we're going to try this. All right, everyone, my meal is all done here. I've got my squash that I've added some of that ricotta cheese and some of the Parmesan, my little garlic bread, my little slices. Make sure you don't leave them too long. The squash or the zucchini took about 35 minutes or so, pretty much from the time I started preparing all of this, and then a little bit time after. The chicken was in there about 6 minutes or so, just to get that cheese to kind of melt on there and get everything all nice and hot. And the little toasted bread just takes a couple of minutes to toast. Make sure you don't forget about that, you guys, because I made my first batch and I completely forgot. It's a good thing I had another half of that bread, and I was able to make a few more pieces. And I am now ready to taste. Let me bring this up to you so you can look at it. This is very heavy. Let's see if I can just bring up the whole board. Bring it up close to you. Look at that. Now I will pan the camera over all of this so you'll get to see it up close. And when I brought out the chicken, I did put the camera over it as well. So let's get a piece from here. See if I can distinguish one. Yep. I love the dark, rustic look of it. My goodness. Look at that, you guys. It's so juicy as well. Another lemon slice on there, just for fun. And let's give it a taste. I'm gonna try out the zucchini first. It's nice and soft and cooked very well. And I love how the cheese got all browned up on the top. This is so good. Now, if you don't like your cheeses getting all browned up, then cook the squash first, the zucchini, and then add your cheeses after you've cooked it halfway, maybe. Let's try this chicken. Let me get a little piece. And I want to make sure I get some of that cheese on it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The lemon flavor in there, awesome. And then that brie, that creaminess of the brie. Let me get my fingers in there, you guys, because I want to get it on this little piece of bread. I'm going to take a little bite. Absolutely delicious. What can I say? I mean, I cooked it myself, so what can I say? But it really is truly delicious, and I do want to share this recipe with you, and I hope that you're enjoying it and that you will make it, because let me tell you, your family's going to love you. There you go, everyone. This is my lemon brie chicken. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. I hope that you will subscribe if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed. Please go right ahead and do so, and hit that little notification bell so that you get notified of when I put up my videos, which is every Tuesday and every Friday. And this is truly a Friday when this is getting posted. Kind of late, but here it is. And once in a while I do a weekend vlog. So there we go, everyone. Share on your social medias. Let me grab this up here, because as always, enjoy.